on stage more than anything else. I like people to look at me. If we're being honest. I am a Red River girl. I was born in Oklahoma and raised in Texas. I'm a very true Texan. But I spent all my time between, and still do, between Texas and Oklahoma. So, therefore, I'm a Red River girl. My grandmother had a lot of, played piano and sang. And I grew up with my great uncle playing piano and singing blues, Blueberry Hill. And my father played saxophone in a band called the Geese in college, which he still threatens to this day. He's going to show up and pull a Bill Clinton and jump up on stage and play with me. Songwriting is what has made me an artist, not just being on stage and not just, you know, working with these people doing it, but actually songwriting is what has really made me feel like, all right, this is something I can do, and this is a serious career. So, Dirt on Her Dress is about a girl who has a one-night stand the night before her wedding. And it wasn't meant to be necessarily a song about an affair or one-night stand, which is what it is. And it's just a fun, I mean, when I played it, girls love it. To be a girls going out night, you know, last night free. And guys are allowed to sing about their last night of freedom before they get married, so why can't girls sing about it? It's just a fun, let's go out with my girls and get dirty. I missed my roots, and I like the longevity that you can have in country, and Nashville was a good fit, and had a producer and manager here at the time, so showed up in Nashville and started rocking. Started working at Tootsie pretty much right away when I moved here, and it's been awesome for me. I've really learned how to work a crowd, and I've met people from all over through it. And I've met a lot of the writers I work with, and a lot of the musicians I work with through it. So yeah, it's been probably the best thing that happened to me so far. I mean, the type of musicians that even just, you know, down here on Broadway, you get, because everybody, when they're not on the road, a lot of them will swing in and play downtown. So I've gotten to play with all kinds of people, which is pretty amazing. One random Monday night, I got to open for at Tootsie's. Kenny Chesney and Kid Rock and the Wailers came in, so I got to play with the Wailers. Backed me up for, I mean, like Kelly Pickler, Hank Jr., you know, you name it, they wander in downtown. So it's just a hole-in-the-wall bar, but it's the world's most famous honky tonk. Holler and Swaller. It's such a songwriter town, and it's so important that you write in this town. And all my originals I've co-written on. I've always been a rebel. I wrote with my friend Dee Drager. She just had that lick, that beginning. You know, I think I grew up with cheerleader and sorority and like that whole thing, but I think that's because that's what you're supposed to do in Dallas, Texas. But looking back, I don't know if that was really me or not. It's a fun little girl rebellious song. Rebel, a song I've always been a rebel, and My Name Ain't Baby, and a lot of our songs come from material like that. I mean, I work in a bar. Spin the Bottle, I wrote with Chris Roberts. When most people hear Spin the Bottle, you think it's going to be I was locked in the closet when I was 7 or some kind of game when you're young. It's a slow song, a ballad actually, about basically a lonely person in a bar. It's actually a pretty sad song.
Not knowing where I'm
Closing time at the bar, and are you going to go home alone, or are you going to go home with the person next to you just to save yourself from being lonely? It's a lonely person song. It's a great song though. I really like it.
So I let go lonely tonight.
I think it's just a blend of finding your voice, but also finding some sort of image. And I mean, I've kind of found the rocker image, but the prissy rocker, if that's possible. Thank you.